Yes, Under the Cover is a new release, so we'll just get to it. May I introduce to you the Boom Racing 109 in all of its glory. So, pretty impressive. Never built anything like this particular model, so it was fairly fun to do, and I'm very privileged to have done it for Jason and Boom Racing. So we'll get into it. We'll go over the body later. In standard fashion, quick release body from the bottom, and that gives us our chassis. So some of the changes, if you're used to the BRX02 with the carbon rails, this is significantly different in the way that they move some stuff around to allow for that body. So kind of noticeable right off is the steering servo. Steering servo is mounted across the chassis instead of vertical in the front of the chassis as previous. To do that, they had to flip the motor mount upside down, which is pretty cool because it raised the motor up and gave room for the servo, and everything has adequate clearance to move. This is leaf spring, obviously. These are aluminum rails, no more carbon fiber on these, and this is a welcome upgrade for some. To me, didn't really bother me on the original BRX02 having the carbon rails, but people spoke and they updated to aluminum. So some of the other running changes, the electronics tray that used to be back here for the carbon fiber is no longer there. They moved it to a stainless steel ESC mount up front, which is really helpful for the brushless systems, keeping the sensor port closer to the speed control instead of running it all the way to the tail. Cleaned up some of the wiring. As you can see, I love my Castle systems and my Reef servos. I do have, since I am running the Micro X, I am running a BEC waterproof to give the servos the power they deserve to perform the way they should. Some of the other changes, the forward and rear skids are now molded plastic, not the nylon printed as on the other truck. Still the anti-torque bars are on here to keep from axle wrapping with the leaf springs. The axles are a narrowed, it's the 80 unit, so it gives you full tire tuck in that body shell for the Series 3, which is very welcome. To always like tire tuck. Just me. I'm a scale guy, so scale it is. On the hubs, they do give you the nut covers for the hubs, and they give you a nice little tool to be able to take them off, but you can use just your fingertips to kind of get them out of there. This thing was a real pleasure to build. It's got some weight to it, that's for sure. Definitely substantial, and it does have the forward weight bias, so it does do well out on the trails. The bumper is different for the Series 3, and it does include the metal. This is all metal. It does include the metal rub rails, and the front bumper is slightly different too, and it does have the fairlead mount. There's a plastic filler plate that clips in the front, so when the body's on, you don't see that hole all the way through. The shocks 80 millimeter and fantastic, smooth. About 3/4 full of oil is about all you need to really get these working, and they get so much better with time. I've run my BRX02 Leaf for over a year now, and I have no complaints. The springs settled in nice and plush, and no axle wrap. Haven't had to deal with any of that. So it's been a true joy to build this. The body mounting system is, it's got the same rails. On the bottom of the body, it has the clips that go on there, and it locks. It's a very positive lock. And it's, yeah. Enough about the chassis. Move on to the beautiful body. So, the body, the windshield, I built mine as the open top. Of course, got a scale driver. Built as the open top. There is a cab canopy that comes with this body, is my understanding. So you can either build it as a convertible or as a pickup. The windshield does fold down. The hood does open. Magnet close. The doors open. And unlike previously where they used magnets, now they have the metal nubs that are spring loaded that catch into the door edge. And it's a very, very positive lock, not like the magnets. So it's a little bit better there. Tailgate does open, so little body clip. Tailgate swings out, swings closed, and little clip to secure it. Again, the doors. You got 3 seats. You do have the interior. Interior is very, very detailed. I got a lot more detail work to do to this, just based on the time that I got it and how much I could do in the cold weather for paint. So I went with a simple limestone. Eventually, the rub rails I'll do in silver to mimic the galvanized look, and I'll probably do the same for the windshield frame. Back to the front, the vents up front do function, which is pretty cool, because just like the real ones, you got to get the air on the inside. And if you're running convertible, this will keep the hair from blowing around in your face. Not that you'll be going that fast. But like I said, the hood does open. It does have a prop rod. Comes off pretty easily on the hinges. Super scale. The front, so you can see through the mesh grille. So even with the brushless system, you'll get some pretty decent airflow. The mirrors, I chose to put them on the front fenders. They give you the option between a mirror on the front fender or a mirror on the door, and they give you the pieces to put that up here. There's no hole here. You have to drill that if you choose to put them on the fender. And it's near the same with the cover for either right side or left side. Intake vent, and that's for gasoline or diesel, depending on which side you put it on and depending on how scale accurate you want to make it. I put it on that side. I honestly don't know if that means it's a diesel or a gas truck. I'm sure in the comments below you will educate me. On the bottom side, these are the mounts. They are different from the original BRX02 with the D110 body. There's a stanchion that runs up from this mount and actually bolts through the door frame into this mount. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws holding it to the body frame and the seat pan, and another 2 screws that hold it into the door frame. So it's a rather rigid body once it's all bolted together. And again, they did a fantastic job. Some of the other details are the 10 tie downs that you can put on below the rail, so you can tie down any cargo. And like I said, it's kind of a quick paint job for me, but it did the work. It got us to where we're at today. So when you pre-order this, you do get an optional hood, is the deal. This is the hood for the spare tire, and the spare tire that they give you to mount on here, so you can run it safari style, which is pretty cool. To put the body on, it's just lining up the back and letting the body close down onto the mounts. What I've been finding is to kind of square it up between your fingers and put your thumbs up on the top side of the body, and then push down from here. If you push down from the doors, it kind of bows the doors out, and it probably won't serve you well over time pulling those doors like that. But it clips down and it is secure. Like I said, it's a pretty heavy truck, but full tire tuck for all that good Land Rover fun. That's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope I covered it. If you want to see more on this, like, subscribe, send me a message, and I'll go over it in more detail if you want. Thanks a lot.